Hi guys, in this video we'll be talking about the differences between two major programming languages, C++ and Java. So let's get started. So the first and the biggest difference between the two languages is that C++ is more low level and Java is more high level. So one important point to note here is that I don't mean assembly languages when I say C++ is more low level. What I mean is that C++ gives you control over certain functions that are considered to be low level. For example, the memory management. In C++, if you allocate some memory using the new operator, which is the dynamic allocation of memory, you have to deallocate that memory yourself by calling the delete operator. It won't happen automatically. And if you don't do that, memory leak will happen. So you have to take care of that. But in Java, there's automatic garbage collection, which takes care of this stuff for you. And you don't have to worry about deallocating the memory. When a variable goes out of scope, it will automatically be removed from the memory. So it gives you less control over memory management. But if you don't need that much control over it, then it gives you much less of a hassle. And then the next difference is that C++ supports destructors where Java doesn't. This is due to the reason that we just discussed. Since in C++ you need to call delete operator yourself, you have to have destructors in classes. So in a class, if you're allocating certain memory in the constructor, then you have to make sure that before the object goes out of scope, that memory is deallocated in order to save yourself into going into a situation of memory leak. So you have to do the delete operation in the destructor, and you need to decide yourself what all you need to deallocate or delete when an object of that class goes out of scope. While in Java, due to the automatic garbage collection, there's no need. So the Java language doesn't support destructors. Then the next difference is that C++ supports pointers. Pointers are just another data type. The difference is that instead of storing a value, they store the memory address of a location, the content of which can be accessed to the pointer, of course. So in C++, you can do that. You can declare pointers and access memory locations through it. Java uses pointers internally, but since it is a very high level language, Java doesn't allow programmers to declare pointers explicitly. Then C++ supports both method and operator overloading. So as you must be familiar with it, method overloading is basically having two methods with the same name but different types of arguments. So it will be decided automatically at compile time which method has to be called according to the specified arguments. And what operator overloading does is, suppose you have a class A and you have two objects, A1 and A2, and you want to be able to add it using the plus operator. You want to be able to do A1 plus A2. So you will do operator overloading, and you will define a function operator plus in the A class, which will specify what needs to be done when a plus operation is called upon this class. So you can do that in C++, while in Java, operator overloading is not supported. You can only do method overloading. Then C++ has features of both procedural languages and object-oriented languages. C++ is not strictly a procedural language. It basically is considered an object-oriented language only, but to be precise, we call it a multi-paradigm language because it supports features of both of them. So what I mean by that is C++ can be used to develop system applications like kernel, etc. So it gives you some features which are generally available in procedural languages. So that is why we call it a middle paradigm or multi-paradigm language. But Java is only object oriented. Any code that you write has to be contained within a class. Then C++ is write once, compile anywhere, which means it is platform dependent. So you can write your code on any machine, but when you try to run it on another platform, you have to compile it again. You cannot use the same executable file on any platform. So C++ is platform dependent. While in Java, it's compile once, run anywhere. Because in Java, the source code is converted into the bytecode. You do not need to compile it again and again on every platform. You can just run the bytecode on any platform. So it is platform independent, which is one of the biggest advantage of Java. Then C++ supports structure and unions, while Java doesn't. Java only supports classes. The next difference is that in C++, there's no relation between class name and file name. So you can have any number of classes in a file, and the name by which you declare those classes has nothing to do with the name of the file. While in Java, the class name and the file name should always be same. The next difference, and a very important one, is that C++ supports multiple inheritance directly. What I mean by that is, if you have two classes, A and B, and you want another class C to inherit both of them, you can do that. You can simply declare class C and you can inherit both of them, public A, public B. You can do that directly. In Java, you cannot directly do multiple inheritance. If you have to do multiple inheritance, you can achieve it using interfaces. So you can put all the methods of A in an interface, then you have to put all the methods of B in an interface, and then C has to implement both of these interfaces. You cannot directly do multiple inheritance. So why Java doesn't support multiple inheritance? Because if languages support multiple inheritance, then problems like diamond problem exists. Diamond problem is basically you have a class A, then there are two classes B and C which inherit from A. Then there's another class D which inherit from B and C. So when B and C inherited A, the features of A came into B and C. After that, D is trying to inherit both of these classes. So these features of A, all the data members will come twice in D. So this will be a problem, and this is called diamond problem. So to overcome this, C++ provides features like virtual inheritance. So to avoid this problem completely, Java does not directly support multiple inheritance. So these were the basic differences that we wanted to discuss. After that, we would like to answer the two major questions that students face while deciding which programming language to choose. So the first one is, of course, which one is better. So there's no better language overall. It only depends on the use case and the context. So there are certain pros and cons to both languages. So if you're talking about which one is better, you have to evaluate what use case you're trying to implement, you're trying to use that language in. So suppose you're trying to build some system program or you're trying to build a gaming application, then you would probably want a greater control over memory management and all the low level functions. So you should go with C++. But if you're trying to develop a web application or an enterprise application, then you will probably be concerned just with the high level implementations. So you don't need to get into this memory management stuff and everything. So to make your work easier, you should go with Java. So it always depends on the use case, and there's no better language per se. Then the next question that we get a lot is which one is more powerful. So again, it depends on the situation. If you're very much concerned about the speed of your program, then C++ is the winner. C++ performs better in speed than Java. And apart from that, when we talk about memory management, it offers both pros and cons to both the languages. So if you want a greater memory management control, as I said, in gaming applications or any system application, then you would probably want to go with C++. But if you're designing an application where you do not need that control and you're not just concerned about that, you would not want to have that overhead on you to manage all the memory and all the low level functions. So Java would be better in that case because it will do all that stuff for you and you won't have to worry about that. So again, it depends on the use case, which one would be considered more powerful. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching it. And if any doubts, do let us know. Thank you. Bye-bye.